Assalamu alaikum. This is video 7. Excuse me. So that's what I'm saying. So they want to do all this controlling the market, so they control you, so that you won't know how to do anything in nature. You won't know how to raise animals. You won't know how to raise a garden. You won't know how to take care of yourself. You won't know how to feed yourself. Keep yourself indolent. Keep yourself a child. Okay, and then if you control the market, if you depend on the market, you won't need to depend on God, because they are the God, right? Rome is God. Rome is the market, right? Commercial world. Empire is really a republic. Okay, 3 crowns. That's what it is. 3 crowns. You got to get out of Babylon, because the prophet born of a virgin is coming. He gonna destroy them. He gonna destroy them. They're going down, inshallah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you don't have to worry about really, the rifle. Your weapon is your faith. Arm yourself with your faith. That's what you need to do. Okay, and love one another, as the prophet born of a virgin has taught you to do. And he's a descendant of Abraham. And Abraham was a Muslim, and Abraham was a believer, because Islam means peace. And I'm telling you, peacefully withdraw, get out of Babylon. And I'm telling you, love one another. And I'm telling you to believe in the oneness of the Creator, and get closer to Him so He can save you, so your mind can be pure when that creature falls, and your mind won't be attached to it and manipulated by the energy and the vibrations that he sends out, because he's going to be sending out those signals. That's what they're trying to do right now, set up a system by where he can just control mankind from the mind of mankind through this what do they call them, by sending these signals up into the certain parts of the stratosphere, and then mankind picking up on those signals, and then thinking those thoughts and doing those thoughts. Okay, acting upon those thoughts. Okay, and control mankind. Those things control mankind from, through controlling the grid, the Earth's electrical grid, by control man's brain that way. That's the consciousness, and that's why I said it's infectious. That's why I said you got to get out of Romulus commercial thoughts and suckling off that brainwashing bullcrap. It's pretty deep. It's on that level to which you could not even imagine that you're in. It's like fish in the water. They don't know they're in water, but they're swimming in water. They're living in water. Okay, we only know it because we see it from the outside. You only see that when you're on from the outside, but it's a paradigm. Okay. So they're setting up that system, so when the beast comes, you have that strong mind inside inside of that child that's 14 now, and then when that spirit comes in here, he can send out those signals into the stratosphere, and then by which those who are still connected to Babylon's tits, okay, sucking on Romulus tits, okay, that commercial world, earning their living out of that, aligning themselves with that, in the military of that, fighting for that, in their police system, beating up humanity for that. It's humanity because it's black and I'm white now, and they believe every stereotype to which they push a little 14-year-old black girl, African girl on the ground, to which he has just totally ignoring her humanity, and thinking that's okay, in that system, because we're part of the system. Well, this is what we got to do because we're police officers and we got to uphold the laws of Babylon, okay, and hurt ourselves, okay. Get out of that, abandon that, okay, because that system's gonna turn on you. And when Prophet Isa comes to destroy that system, you're gonna be destroyed by that system, and it's gonna happen soon. You think it's not? It's gonna happen soon. And it's got to happen at least, maximum, by that time that child is 33. And he's going to look like, he may come out before he's 33. He will probably come out at 22 and say he's 33. Because nobody's supposed to know about him, so nobody would know actually how old he is. You see what I'm saying? So they play a game on you. But whatever time he comes out, Prophet Isa is going to come out too. And they're going to tell him. The Muslims are going to tell Prophet Isa, the one born of a virgin, that the Dajjal, that's what it's called, the Dajjal means deceiver, that he's in Jerusalem. And when Prophet Isa learned that the Dajjal, the Satan, the Antichrist, you call him the Antichrist, that he's in Jerusalem, that's when the Prophet Isa is going to go to Jerusalem and destroy him and his army. He's going to have the army of the Gog and Magog with him. And that's what he's building up now. And that's why those Gog and Magogs proposing as Muslims have that long hair, because they have that long hair to represent that dog hair, because that's what they had all the time, that dog hair, that hair all over their body. They were hairy. And I showed you those videos. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just making this stuff up. This is the spirituality of their world, and you better get a grip on yourself to recognize it. Okay? So, that's a game they're playing. So, so as I said, the Crown Prince of the Trinity, okay, he represents the physical aspect of him, right? Okay, then that's what Rome represents, the physical aspect of Iblis, okay, and it's known as Lucifer, okay. So he represents the head of and that's what he does. And who took control of the head, right? We said Rothschild, right? And he's Ashkenazi, right? And they said that it would be in the Ashkenazi or the Gog and Magog, right? They're Neanderthals and just war, right? Like wild pack of dogs is what they are. Okay, and the head of that is the Rothschild. He took control of the crown, right, when he defeated, well, when England defeated, what's his name, Napoleon, right, Napoleon. And he took control of that by taking control of the banking system, right? He took control of the government, then the government enacting with American government, dragging America into the war and the World War II. And, well, first they took over the money, right? Through the dropping of the stock market, right? And then brought in the birth certificate, said some took over the humanity. I mean the natural man in America, right? Dragged them into the war. Then they dragged them into the war with World War I, and then World War II. See what I'm saying? Just getting them deeper and deeper into aligning themselves with the crown heads, right? Okay. But that's all the Rothschild dynasty, demonic dynasty, right? The clan, okay, of the Gog, Father Gog, and the Mother Gog, or the Mother Dog and the Father Dog, the nations of sons, the sons of God, right? The nation of sons, it's a nation of sons of bitches. That's what the nation of sons of God is, okay? That's what it really means. Sons of Anubis. They're sons of Anubis. Okay? Now, so that's what it is, and that's what Rothschild is. He's head of the Ashkenazi clan, Gog and Magog. And his only purpose in life is doing his father's will, right? And that is protecting the commercial nation, the one nation, the only begotten Rome, okay, which will become Israel, will morph into Israel. Now the empire's moving. It moved from Rome to England, from England to America, and from America it's going back to Rome. So it's trying to go back to its origin. That's where you get the thing of Zionism. It's going back to where it came from, okay? Because remember, all life came out of Africa, so they want to go back. And what are they doing to Africa but destroying it with all their terrible vaccines, by poisoning the people, and war, and what is that? And famine, and disease, and the murdering and raping of gang raping of women. Because remember, they're dogs. They're going to gang rape, okay? They gang rape, okay? Because they got to pass that woman around. Because when they get a woman, they got to pass her around, because their nation don't get women, right? So they steal the women, the natural women, okay, to breed in with that race, okay? And that's why, I guess, a woman never has any woman. That's why its best friend's a dog. And then a woman never has power in that nation. That's why it's a misogynist nation, because she never really has. Her job is only to breed, right? The crown prince, the only begottens, right? So the commercial empire, what they said, is Rome, okay? The one nation, okay? So it was, okay, and as I said, it represents the ram, okay? Because it's all, remember we said it's all counterfeit. It's all counterfeit. Now, remember we said these symbols actually have meaning. These attributes that they're counterfeiting actually have purpose, but they steal it for themselves to give themselves legitimacy, to use it, the celestial bodies and energy that's giving off to empower themselves, because this stuff is legit. Remember I said Christianity has aspects of it, Judaism, that's what makes it Christianity, Judaism, all relative, because they're all on the same foundation. The celestial foundation, the ethereal foundation, it's all constructed the same, but they constructed it, they removed your knowledge of it, took control of the knowledge, and they use it to build their own empire. and put themselves in high places. But this is not knowledge that you're supposed to. They just have it perversely constructed. Okay? Because remember, the atoms has 3 parts in it. The atom has parts in it. The one upper, they're called uppers. There's uppers and they're downers, and they're called I forget what they're called, but they're parts in the atom. Anyway, so that's in, okay. So that's imperial. Their so-called their empire for Lucifer, right? The morning star, the commercial empire. The ideology is one. It is the same like the brother and sister twins, okay, that act upon the same that act within the same hermaphrodite body. Because in the beginning, as I said, Isis and Osiris were twins representing electromagnetic energy. Okay, they have to stay together in order for the wheel to turn. The wheel of life, meaning the magnum opus, in order for it to turn, okay, okay, there has to be in order for the planets to rotate and go back and forth, or go retrograde and go forward and backward, they have to have the electromagnetic energy, okay, and direct energy. There has to be 2 forces there. There has to be duality. That's a duality. The twins will be the duality. Electromagnetic and energy and direct energy from the sun would be duality. The female and male in the home, husband and wife, would be duality. Okay. So Rome is, as I said, is only an absolute single-minded goal for incarnating into life. Okay. No. So that's the only goal of the Son, is to incarnate for his build a world and a body for his Father to incarnate the world, and to incarnate within the world. Okay. And that's what he got that 14-year-old boy for. That's somewhere in this world, somewhere. Okay, somewhere over a vortex. You got to believe that he's somewhere over a vortex. Okay, where a vortex is, so he can get the maximum energy. He's got to be over one of the cardinal signs. So he's probably got to be over one of the cardinal signs. Okay, so that's what the twins represent. They always represent duality. Electromagnetic energy and direct energy is duality. Yin and yang is duality. Hot and cold, duality. Up and down, duality. It's always contrast is duality. Okay? Isis and Osiris were said to be brothers. That was a brother and sister. And they married each other because they have to stay together, right? Okay. But in the well, we won't go back that far. Okay, so that's so they are one. Just like I said, the hermaphrodite body, they are one within the same body. The hermaphrodite is one, duality. And just like that child of Rothschilds, he's I don't know about hermaphrodite, but he's definitely bisexual. He's going to be bisexual. He has to be. Okay? Because he's got to be the body complete. He's got to represent it complete, because Israel's got to be complete. He's got to represent the mother and the father. Okay? Because that's what makes him one, the mother and the father. And that's what makes Rome one, representing the mother and the father. Okay? But Rome wants to move to going back to Israel. It's part of the Zionist movement. And he's trying to fool you. He's trying to make you think he's a Christian. He's a separatist from Jew. No, he's not. That's where he wears a little yarmulke. Okay, representing circumcision of the head. Okay, rather than the circumcision of the lower part, he's got to be circumcised at the head, representing, purity of mind. Okay? And we're in the yarmulke of the Jewish. We're supposed to be the Jews. Okay? So the Rome is supposed to be absolute single-minded, focusing on incarnating his father, okay, and doing the spiritual will of his father, and he's supposed to incarnate him into life, right, and have a home for him when he gets here, okay, build his kingdom, have his kingdom in order, aligned to the way he established it to be as a result of the evolution, right, okay. and the three-headed God, and the positions of God that he's to play. Okay, so he was to do the will of his father, his unholy father, Satan. This is what Lucifer's supposed to do. They make you think Lucifer and Satan are the same people, same spiritual beings. They're not. Okay, Lucifer is supposed to control the body of man, and as he learned it from the will from his mother, and he's supposed to, and William means will I am. He's the will of Lucifer. He's doing the will of Lucifer. That's what William means. Will I am. I am the will. I am. That's the great I am. But he is the great I am. He's the great I am as it relates to evolution. But he's not the great I am as it relates to creation. Okay? He's not the great I am as it relates to evolution. Okay? He's the great I am as it relates to evolution. And he's here to do his father's will, Satan's will. Okay? But he doesn't have the power anymore. Remember, he's used as a puppet. And the one who has that, took that power is Rothschild. And he's trying to pass it on to his son because he's supposed to have it because he's an Ashkenazi, right? He's a Jew, right? But he's a Jew. But he's a Jew that's on that same dog head, and then in that dog head spirituality. Okay? Now, he said to do the complete will work of his father, because his father will punish him too, right? His father does not play favorites amongst his sons. Okay, so he's to do his father's perverse will. Okay, advance the life of his kingdom. He's to broaden and expand the life of the kingdom. Expand the kingdom to incorporate the whole world. Because remember, Satan told, Iblis told Allah that he was going to try to corrupt all of man, the whole world. So that's his son's job, is to try to corrupt the whole world, to convince the whole world that they have evolved and they were not created, thereby dismiss God and the evolutionists who created man, because they want to tell man he was created to serve the will of the gods. In reality, man was created to serve the will of the God, but now they want to tell they created man to serve the will of God, and they perfected his shape through the theory of evolution. And man's going to believe that because we got the giant bones, we got all this stuff that we're going to present you that they've had in hiding for thousands and thousands of years. They've been passing on from empire to empire. If you go into those catacombs, you're going to find a lot of stuff. The missing links and all of this stuff, because the missing link to their creation is a dog. Okay? So he's to do the work of the Father and expand the kingdom by incorporate the whole world. That's what Lucifer's job is to do. And destroy the spirituality of the natural African race of man given by Allah. Right? Okay. So, now, young Lucifer is to advance and preserve the life of the kingdom, Rome. Right? And young Lucifer is Rome. Right? So, he's to do that. And the head of Rome, he would represent Satan. So the Pope would represent Satan, and Rome, his Vatican, would represent Lucifer. But remember, the Pope, the Pope, okay, their spiritual father would represent the spiritual father, right? And he represents Rome too. But who all represents it all three aspects of it, because he got the money power. And that's what they use, the monetary power through the IMF, right, to control the world through the commerce, right, through the UCCs and all of that kind of stuff, is Rothschild. He's in charge. He feels he's the god of the commercial world. And he is the god of their commercial world. He's the Anubis. He's the big god. And he wants to control all of the natural world now. But he wants to make you think that the commercial world is the natural world. And if you accept the consciousness of, if you accept him to be your god, if you accept his commercial world as to reign over you, you accept the authority of the commercial world, then you accept the authority of him being God. And you accept him as your God. Therefore, you have to do his will, and he has control and power over you, and that's what he's using. So you got to reject that, and that's why. But he does it through the headship of their godship of the dog, the one of the godheads of his dog, and that would be through the poop. And then to go to war through the calling of his second dog head, that will be the crown head. And then be led into war by his third control of the temporal body would be the Anunnaki, jinn-led prince. Will I am, his will he is. Okay? So it's a game, it's a hierarchy of gendom. Okay? But that's, you got to get at, that's the spirituality. Suckling from the ticks of Rome. It was going to be tough, and I told you, that's why I had to miss that date in the Sagittarius full moon, because it was when I started looking at it, it was like, wow, this is something else. It's amazing, but it was intense, and it took more time to get it completely. So that's why I had to bring it out for this Ramadan Gemini new moon. Okay, mashallah, subhanallah. So that's what it is, and as we said, and that's what and he's to do all this until his father comes home, and that's why he's rushing now, because that's why you got all this chaos going on in the world, because they're expecting their father, their spiritual father, to return soon. They're expecting their Jinn and Anunnaki leaders to return soon, and when they try to return in spaceships, then everybody's going to say, wow, they do believe in spaceships, they do believe in extraterrestrial, they do believe the Jinn, their higher superior intelligence created all this, they do believe all that, because they're going to see all this stuff vibrating in the air and the elevating in the air, these high stones. So you're going to believe it. You believe it. You'll be in tune to believe it, because it's like you've never seen Christianity do anything like that. You've never seen Islam do anything like that. You've never seen Judaism do anything like that. You want to understand how your spirituality works, because it wasn't supposed to. Well, you could do all that and all that, but you wouldn't want to usurp the whole world. And what's the benefit of doing all that if the people going to go back to Jannah anyway? Just live naturally and depart naturally. Come naturally, live naturally, and depart naturally. That's how most people want to live, just simple and happy. Okay? And that's what Zionism is. Their father, their Anunnaki father, is supposed to be coming back. And that's why they call God Father. We're God's children. I'm not God's child. I'm Allah's creation. I'm not God's child. I'm not the god Anubis' creation. I'm not his creation as a result of evolution. And then they'll try to tell you all black people came from monkeys, to separate you from them, so you won't be breeding. So not breeding, but so you won't be intercoursing with them. You won't be interacting with your families, to segregate you socially. So you won't have any possibility of getting your crown chakra, and keep back people oppressed, African people who are really huge oppressed, so that they'll look, so that they can be hustling for food and be tempted to do things that defy that commercial laws that they structure. So it's a setup so that they'll break the law. They'll live so harshly they'll have no choice but to come in contact with the law, and then they can call them criminals and incarcerate them and have their brothers and sisters support them by saying, well, they came in contact, they broke the law, they should be punished, when it's really a punishment for you too. You white brother and you white sister, it's a punishment for you too. All them prisons with all those African richly hued people in there, okay, black or white, it's a punishment for you too. You're in prison too, right alongside of them, because they doing that just a means of population control, okay, and to keep you away from getting some good melon, so that you some good old melon, so that you won't be as smart as you possibly can be. You can't reach you can only do this commercial lifestyle. You can't reach your full spiritual potential. And then you go to India and say, what's the purpose of life? When in reality the purpose of life is to live in accordance with natural laws, which are spiritual laws, which have been manipulated. Okay, so that's what they mean by the advent of Zionists. That's why they're hurrying so far to try to have that's why they had all that genocide in Palestine in the Ramadan 2014, which is June 2014, because Ramadan is not the month of June. I don't want you to get mistaken and think it is. It's not. It's on the lunar calendar. 1 month it could be as a lunar calendar. Then the lunar calendar, 29 days, 30 days. As it fluctuates, the days change. So the time, the year it comes up is always maybe different. It's 10 days. Well, I can't remember that exactly, but the day, because it fluctuates, it follows the moon on the moon schedule. It may be in June this month. It may be in 10 days next month. It will still be in June, but next year will still be in June. But the year after that, inshallah, will be in May. It may be in May, or it may be in May. It will probably be in May. Okay, so it's not always in June. I don't want you to think that, but last year was in June. again, okay? Because every 10 days it fluctuates. I mean, every year it fluctuates by 10 days. Um, so, so last year, I'm just letting you know, giving you a reference of time when it happened. In 2014, they attacked Palestine and did all that genocide upon the children. And I want to say, especially to Palestine, Ramadan Mubarak, Jazakallah khair. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you. And thank you, Jazakallah khair, for all your patience, all your praying, through all your troubles and all the suffering that you experienced last Ramadan. May Allah show you great reward for all of that. You demonstrated to the world that Muslims are not violent, that Muslims are the victims, and that they are being assaulted and they are being attacked, that they are not terrorists. You know, through all your praying, and you continue staying close to Allah and encouraging others to pray even though you were suffering, you know, at the hands of the demonic beast. I want to Jazakallah khair for that, and Jazakallah khair to the world who came to support you, and also you know, help with the calling for the you know, the stopping of genocide in Palestine, and the world came to support, to help stop that, you know. And it was all the world. It was, you know, it was all the world of humanity, from all faiths and all beliefs. It was very diverse, and I'm grateful to Allah for that. And I just want to say Jazakallah khair, and that means may Allah, the Creator, reward us, humanity, for speaking out. It said if you can't physically do something, at least speak about it. You know, do something in whatever way you can, inshallah, to help. Okay, and I mentioned before, there was a woman who was out there in that hot sun in 2014 on her walker protesting. There was another old man. He was very old, and he was making clothes for Palestinian children. And he wasn't, I don't know what faith, what his spiritual teacher, who his spiritual teacher was, whether it was a prophet born of a virgin, what spiritual teacher he followed, whether he followed the spiritual teacher born of a virgin, or whether he's followed Musa, the one who was given the blessing to part the Red Sea. No, I don't know. But the point is, he was out there doing what he could, and that's what believers must do, what they can, whether they speak against the evil act against humanity, or they actually get out there and protest, or donate money, or do whatever they can. But they do, or go and help out as doctors, or speak in the courts on behalf, or politicians. But it's something they have to do what they can, whatever means they can to help to alleviate the suffering of humanity. Okay, so that's why they were really trying to get at Palestine and cause out a genocide. That's why we have all this chaos and all these wars in the world right now, is because they're expecting their father to return, their Anakian jinn father to return, the Iblis to return, to help them out again. Because you got to remember, the jinn live a very, very long time. You know, so they're waiting for him to return because he's been kicked out. He has only so much time. And they have only so much time to build that, for he needs a place to go. And he'll try to get in your house, and that's why the Pope is coming here. Okay, you got to pray to Allah to protect the United States and all the world where he goes. Okay, that's what the Zionists in. They're trying to get back into that so that they can reign from that vortex and have that power and use all that gold and, as we told you, that pyramid technology that from Tesla. You know, the Tesla towers and all that, to try to get energy from the grid to give to him so he can utilize, because he ain't got no power, because only one has power, right? There's only one source, and that comes from the Creator. That comes from the Creator. That don't come from the Holy Spirit, that and the Son and God, three entities of God, and if all those three entities have power and they all use their power. No, there's only one power source, and now that man calls upon that one power source, and that's the Creator of all things. Okay, so he doesn't have any power, so he has to usurp the power from the environment. That's why the environment is breaking down. And the more the environment breaks down, remember, the more energy power he has, because those rays come through. Those are like frequencies to him. The higher the frequency, and he wants to be humongous, right? So he can absorb a lot. Okay, because he's that spirit. He can absorb a lot, so he wants to absorb a lot. So he wants to break the environment down, and then program it with his spiritual energy, right? Put his vibrations out there to program the mind of man. So he wants to use, the more it's broken down, the better for him. The more chaos, the more spiritual energy he gets from man. So the more he makes, he's real. Remember, the devil is real. The devil is real. The devil is real. Okay. So that's what the Zionists do. They want to go back and take over that area. That's what Zionism is. The return to his only begotten, okay, nation, Rome. His only begotten son, Rome, or Lucifer, or what he renamed the morning star. Okay, so the conniving one, right? The brutal, barbaric, only begotten nation of Satan. Okay, and that's what Lucifer is supposed to do. Rome is supposed to do. It's supposed to preserve his kingdom by any means, keep the kingdom, right? And so he's got to keep that his system the way, just to preserve it the way he was taught to preserve it. The Neanderthal is to preserve it the way he was taught to preserve it, right? And that is keep Satanism alive, right? Okay, so which means keeping the empire alive, or his commercial republics alive, which means keeping his crowns alive to control the body of man, which means, right, keeping young Lucifer alive, which means keeping Rome alive. And that's what he does with that, coming with the central banking and debt and all that, and usurping all the world gold and all the world natural resources, right, empowered in Rome. Okay, and keeping man in bondage with the birth certificates, right? Okay, so that's what that means, keeping all that, which means keeping money alive, right? Keeping that monetary system alive, keeping that IMF alive, which means keeping global and central banking alive, which means keeping the International Monetary Fund alive, which means keeping the dollar alive, right? They can't let BRICS develop. That's why go against Russia, attack Russia, because Russia is about BRICS, right? It's to create an alternative money source, and they need one money source with the IMF, right? They only need one money source. They only want money. Ooh, salam alaikum. Gotta go to video 8.